Hey everyone, welcome back to Lucky by Nature. Angelic Vixen here. The official ARC trailer is here. Have you seen it? If not, you can view the uncut version at survivethearc.com. I'm going to break the trailer down and we will talk about each section. Jeremy mentioned that there are secrets within the trailer, which is exciting, so we can dissect it to see if we can find them. But first we need to talk about what ARC truly is. Have you spent any time reading the Explorer notes? I know we use them to level up, but have you ever read them? It is actually a really interesting story. I'm going to break it down to some of the key notes that gives us a glimpse into the actual origins of ARC. So enjoy the video. So let's go over the notes, and that way when we actually look at the trailer, things might make more sense to you. Helena note number 4 on Scorched Earth says definitely the result of genetic engineering. But I knew that, didn't I? It's time to get to the why. Maybe studying the creatures here with my new perspective will yield some insight. So clearly, in ARC, we've got genetic engineering. Helena note number 6 on Scorched Earth, it makes the story get even better. It says here, if this whole place is a space station posing as a real ecosystem, then it needs to keep the wildlife and humans inside it contained in a way that appears natural. The island accomplished that by simply being an island, and the desert does it via the deathworms. But then if you go on to read the next section, it says, but as this is an artificial environment, the station can feed or replace the deathworms as needed. Now this is definitely where it gets even deeper, and this kind of really gives you a glimpse as to what we're dealing with. Helena note number 7 on Scorched Earth says this, like the island, the desert is a space station posing as a natural environment. It is inhabited by a large population of dangerous, genetically engineered creatures and a small population of humans that are struggling to survive. This whole environment is then deliberately contained by a combination of holographic horizon and natural barriers. And then it goes on to say, assuming the other space stations are at all similar, then this whole thing is starting to look like some kind of bizarre experiment on a grand scale. Yes, each station would represent an experimental group. Another clue can be found in Helena note number 22 on Scorched Earth. At the very bottom it reads, she didn't seem very surprised when I told her about the obelisks, their guardians, or even that this desert is actually a space station. Either she knows more than she's saying, or experience has grinded the surprise right out of her. So, as you can see, Scorched Earth, the island, they are actually space stations. And this is really interesting in Helena note number 26 on Scorched Earth. It says here, Rockwell theorized that the portals may have taken us through time as well as space, which would make sense because some of the notes are really old, some of the notes are current, some people age, some people are just coming into the picture. So it looks like not only are we dealing with space, but we're dealing with time travel. And now it's all coming together. So Helena note number 27 on Scorched Earth says this. This place would never allow anyone to master it, she said, and when I asked her to explain, she told me that the great city to the southeast was destroyed by the obelisk itself. Now it's just conjecture, but it's interesting to think about. Could the curators of these stations be monitoring human behavior and clipping its wings should the survivors ever band together and fly too close to the sun? If each station represents a different group in a larger experiment, resetting human progress would make a lot of sense. It's a bit grim though, isn't it? So now that we dissected some of the Explorer notes in ARC, we kind of get a glimpse as to what people feel or think that ARC is, and space station, genetically engineered creatures, so on and so forth. And when you look at the trailer after refreshing on the story, everything kind of comes together and makes sense. Now, Jeremy said that there's a secret hidden within the trailer launch, and there's a lot of speculation, but I want to break it down. And yeah, there's plenty of other videos out there that have, dissected it and, kind of guessed as to what, theorized, so on and so forth. But you haven't heard it from us. So I'm going to break it down to what me and Beast are thinking, and we'll see if you guys agree. So definitely, share your feedback with us. Tell us what you think is actually, hidden within this ARC official trailer. So in this opening scene, it's clear that we're in some sort of alien environment. And as you can see here at the top, we've got some sort of code. Maybe this is alien code. And if you notice, if you go further down the little tunnel here, there's code in each room. So maybe this code actually says what you're looking at. You know, like for instance, off to the left and to the right, we've got what appears, and I don't know if it's for sure, but it appears to be the Megapithecus arena. And then off to the right, it looks like it's the Broodmother arena. So there's code, which obviously maybe lists the room that you're in and what you're actually, you know, watching. And then if you go down that hallway, there's more code, and maybe that also lists, you know, what worlds you're watching or what arenas you're watching. So there's just so much to actually consider, but clearly they can watch, you know, what we're doing in ARC. So if we're in the arenas, we've got some sort of alien species or something watching us. And there it is in the next scene, confirming the genetically engineered creatures. Because as you can see here, we've got this hologram of this creature, which, you know, there's a lot of debate as to what it is, and it could be even something in the future that's coming, because it is slightly different than what we currently have. But you've got the DNA, you've got this hologram being created here, and again, it just kind of encompasses all of the stuff that we read from the Explorer notes about being genetically engineered. So what it appears is possibly aliens are genetically engineering these creatures, these worlds, testing to see how people survive. And so now we move into the world scene. And so a lot of people have said that that's Australia. And of course, the creator of the Explorer notes is from Australia. So there's got to be some sort of concept, you know, connection going on between Australia, the writer, so on and so forth. Anyway, we do have a world here. And of course, what does it mean? Now, you could take it as, you know, that's Australia, but what is the hidden meaning? Maybe this is the world that we're currently working in. This is the world that, you know, they're testing out in. Or this could just be where they monitor. So, you know, just like a globe, you sit there and you can spin it and you can see each thing going on. So maybe this is where they actually can zoom in and check to see what we're doing. I don't know. I'm theorizing. But there's definitely hidden meaning behind it. I don't know if it necessarily means Australia per se, but it definitely means different places that they monitor. And that is pretty much a definite that that's where they monitor all the different, you know, places that they're studying. So these guys are pretty cool, and it looks like they're guards. Everyone is speculating that these are the guards that protect the, you know, last boss, which is very possible. Of course, everyone's kind of guessing as to what they are. Looking at them, I'm just gonna give you my theory. They look like re-engineered Mantis, or possibly Mantis in some sort of really cool tech. That's my theory. I don't know if it is. We won't know until it actually goes official, but they remind me of Mantis, and so that's kind of where my mind went when I saw them. They look cool, they look pretty badass, and they look pretty fierce. So this should be fun to actually fight them. But that is what the theory is. That's what people are thinking, that these are the guards to the last boss. And maybe when you reach the last boss, all the answers, you know, come clear. Maybe these are the aliens. Maybe these are, you know, the alien founders, creators of ARC, and who knows. But it's fascinating, and if it is Mantis with tech, I hope we actually get them to play with, because I think that would be fun, because I don't know if you notice how they move. They're pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, I think they might be possibly re-engineered Mantis or Mantis with tech. Now this next scene is of the island, and it's at 50-50, and if you might know, I'm not sure if you know, but let me just let you know, the flyers migrate to 50-50. And if you've been around long enough in ARC, you would know that there was a glitch for the longest time where quets, I call them quets, I know they're actually called like kets, but anyway, quets eggs would appear at 50-50. So you could fly to 50-50 and pick up 2 or 3 quets eggs from all these different, you know, survivors on ARC, because there was a glitch. Every time the quets would have an egg, instead of landing, you know, actually in your base, wherever you had your quets parked, they would actually show up at 50-50. Now, I've looked at this image, I've zoomed in, I don't see anything specific, but clearly, you know, Wildcard wanted us to notice 50-50. And I don't think it's just in general showing, you know, the map of the island. It could be. But I just feel like there's more meaning to showing this particular location in the island. So I'm really curious as to see if maybe something's going to change at 50-50 on the new servers, something maybe evolving at 50-50 for the new servers. It could be nothing, but I'm really curious, because it happens to be a location that was always very, you know, important, and it is still important in this game. So the next scenes, I didn't notice anything really out of the normal, arc type of play. It looks all the same as what we normally have. I've zoomed in, I've tried to find anything specific. So again, even with the 50-50 part of the map, maybe it's just wildcard showing, different aspects because there are new people coming into the game. I'm not really sure, but I've looked here and I don't really see anything out of sorts. It's kind of our typical arc, everything that we recognize, everything that we've become used to and accustomed to. Now this is the scene where a lot of people actually think that this is the secret Jeremy was referring to, and this code actually takes you to a counter, and the countdown goes past the official release, and it's September 1st when the timer should actually stop. So we've theorized several things, and Beast is actually working on a video as we speak to talk about what we think might be coming due to that counter based on, what it looks like, how it's presented, and the fact that it comes out after the official release. So definitely look for that video because he's working on it right now, and just the brainstorming that we did this morning about his video was absolutely fascinating, so I think you guys are going to really enjoy it, but he's going to delve into that much deeper. And this scene was exciting because you finally get to see the tech sword and tech shield in full action. So I'm going to slow it down, that way you can actually see how it moves, how it works, so on and so forth. I am really excited just to try it. I actually really like the sword. Beast is more of like a pike guy. We started on primitive, so we didn't have, cool guns for like over a year because we didn't go from primitive to non-primitive. And if you don't know, there's actual primitive regular servers, not primitive plus. There are actual primitives, so you don't get any cool guns or, anything really all that awesome. So we stuck with, swords and pikes. But with this, just because I like swords and I grew very accustomed to using swords, seeing the tech sword is pretty awesome. And of course, I got the dev kit and I was playing around in there just to kind of see how everything works. From what I've read and from what I know about the tech sword, it's supposed to be pretty OP. I don't know if it's true, but with the tech shield, bullets are supposed to bounce off it and possibly shoot back at the person that's shooting at you. So this will be really fun in PvP, but I slowed it down here so that way you guys can actually see the movements, in slow motion, and it's pretty badass. So here we've got what you can see is the bionic skins. They're really awesome. I hope that everyone can get them that's already been playing, because I know it's part of, the pre-order that you get these bionic skins. But it's a nice addition to the game, and there is the most adorable creature in Ark, the otter. I have to have one. First it was the jerboas, now it's got to be the otter. I have to have one, or a few dozen. Anyway, they're adorable. I won't use them for pearls. I don't need them for pearls. Maybe they'll be great at getting pearls. I don't know, but they're just adorable, and I'll always have one with me. So yeah, I can't wait to have my newest little Ark pet. And there it is. There's the Phoenix, the infamous Phoenix that they finally brought back to the game, and it is fantastic. Seeing it light on fire, seeing that, all of the things that it's doing there, and the fact that we'll be able to ride it is just outstanding. I can't wait. Like, we're keeping our Scorched Earth bases because we want to be able to get a Phoenix. I can't wait for official because that's going to be one of the first things besides getting the otter that we tame. I mean, I'm really excited. So seeing some of the new stuff that's coming just makes it all worth it. All the struggles and trials and tribulations that we've been through during this journey, it's all worth it. So they show this cave, and I didn't notice anything out of sorts with the cave. I did zoom in, I looked around. Not really sure what it represents other than, there are, caves to go in. Hopefully, we'll understand exactly what all of these little, clues mean in the long term. They could mean nothing. They could mean everything. We won't know until the official release. And then here at the end, they show this really, great little town of, buildings, and they show the flyers. People have zoomed in to try to figure out if there's going to be, Structures Plus on here. And from what I can tell, and Beast looked at it too, and I know a lot of other YouTubers have checked it as well, it doesn't look like this is going to be Structures Plus. It looks like just all of our normal building materials. So I don't really see anything out of sorts, out of the norm. Here, I wish we were getting new stuff, but unfortunately I don't think we are getting new stuff, at least not yet. And then the really exciting thing, and everyone is saying it, and I agree, Beast agrees, is the flyers are faster. Those RGs are flying faster than what we currently have. Now, it may just look that way, I'm not really sure, but I can tell you with 100% certainty, it looks like it. It looks really good. I hope we get speed back on our flyers. We need them to be faster, especially if you're going to Ragnarok. That map is so enormous. Flying anywhere, you want something fast. So I can only hope. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I would love to, have feedback from you. What are your thoughts, opinions? What do you think is coming? Do you think we're going to be getting a new, DLC with the timer? What do you think? Definitely keep a lookout for Beast's new video, because he's going to talk about that in detail. He's got a lot of really great information. Again, with the feedback, I know you guys see the trolls every once in a while. Everybody has trolls. We just kind of blow it off. I usually will just delete the comments. If they're really rude, I block the person. And if you want to be a troll and you want to get blocked, so be it. It really doesn't faze us. That is the benefit to YouTube, is it definitely toughens you up, because there are just some really hateful people out there, and either it breaks you or it makes you stronger. And with me and Beast, it makes us stronger. And I mean, I'm sure many of you have seen, Beast will definitely roast people. He has no qualm sitting there and roasting you. So if you want to be rude to me or him, then you guys can go at it. So be it. But other than that, again, share your feedback, share your thoughts, and until next time, keep surviving.
My work saved the human race.